Welcome back to No Sugar, ain't no sugar nista, no sugar mama. Hi everyone, welcome back to No Sugar with Everything Kraus. Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Sunday. Happy week.
Happy whatever the day of the week is that you're listening to this on.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, sis.
How you feeling, sis?
I'm good.
That's it?
I'm well. No, I'm doing good. I apologize if my voice sounds a little bit gross. I think it sounds gross, but a little bit deeper today. I think it definitely does, right, Kateri?
It kind of does sound deeper.
Yeah, I had a close encounter with my friend Larry this week.
Who's Larry?
Larry the laryngitis.
The laryngitis.
The laryngitis. I don't know if it was laryngitis, but I self-diagnosed myself with laryngitis because I recently went to Boston, as you know, and when I got home from Boston and Providence, I just had absolutely no voice. It was actually comical. I sent Kateri a memo of me talking, and you were like, "Wait,
no, like
I was like, it's literally gone."
I was like, "Stop sending me voice memos. Like, shut up. Just stop talking."
Yeah, it was really bad. I've never lost my voice before, ever, and it was like such a weird feeling. And on Monday, I actually could not even speak. Like I would speak and no sound would come out. Then I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like there's literally no what is it called, vibrations in between my vocal cords. Like there is no voice there. I can't even get like a
Yeah, it was honestly wild.
I couldn't even get that out. So I was just mute for 48 hours and it freaking sucked.
Yeah,
it made me realize how grateful I was for my voice.
Yeah. Literally. We had like all these plans. Record an episode. Isabel was doing this or that. We were gonna record a taste test together, and like we just had to delay so many things. I'm like,
yes,
we
so many
can't.
things.
Like, I don't want to do things alone. Like it's,
yeah, and that was my thing. I was like, no, like I want to do that, this or that.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm like,
so
well,
bitter.
if
I
you
was
need me to do it, like I can do it, but I had done the last one because of you going to Boston, so like, it was your turn.
yeah, but she back now. My voice back.
Yeah, you're definitely sounding way better than you did last Monday.
And I feel better, so that's good.
Yeah.
But so that's why I said good, but I'm still always doing great. It's always a beautiful day to have a great day, so obviously I'm good.
Yes, I agree.
How are you, sis?
I'm great. I am just, chilling. I went on a nice long walk this morning. It was freezing. I know, like I said, I wanted the cold weather to wear like my cute cold coats and stuff, but like, it's pretty cold.
Yeah, it's like it's such a love-hate relationship. I feel like I have with the cold.
Yeah,
I really, I crave it, and then I go outside and I'm like, I can't believe the air is this cold. Like this is.
You know why I think we crave it is because cold outside means warm inside and like snuggle up on the couch. Like I just associate the cold weather with the Christmas season of being home with everyone, having hot chocolate, watching Christmas movies, skiing. Like gingerbread houses, skiing. Like I associate all of that. But then when I'm like out in the cold and doing an activity out in the cold, I'm like, wow, it's really, really cold. Like walking this morning. And it wasn't even like the coldest it's gonna get, obviously.
No, I know.
But I checked my watch when I woke up and it said 28 degrees. I'm like, oh shit, it's like cold out this morning. I literally wore a hat. I had gloves on because my hands just get cold walking, even if it's not even that cold out. And then I was full marshmallow mode. Like I had my jacket pulled up, always zipped up, and the two buttons buttoned. So I was like marshmallow.
And yours goes like marshmallow AF.
Yeah, like
you got to bundle up. I don't know. I'm just found that I think my favorites, like I don't think I have a favorite season. I have like an ideal type of weather day, and as much as I love being really, really hot, obviously that's like my favorite type. Need to be by a body of water though. If I'm gonna be like in 98 degrees, that's my requirement. So if I'm in like a place like Philly, like I would be miserable walking when it's that hot out. But the weather that we had before this cold spell, I feel like was so beautiful. It was like 80 degrees or like even like 75, but still like a bit breezy. But I was like so hot walking, but not sweating. It was like the perfect, like, oh, I'm warm, I'm getting in my sun, but I'm also like totally okay. I'm like wearing pants today or something like that. And I really enjoyed it. I've never experienced that with a fall. I feel like it's always been really hot from Cape May to like cold really quick. And this
Mhm.
time, this year, I feel like it took a little bit slower to get colder.
Yeah, I know, I feel like that too. I also just don't feel like I remember, like, any other weathers from the year before. I always just remember the drastic ones, like, when it's
I
really hot or
know,
really cold. It's never an in between.
right? Well, and last year I didn't have a fall because I was abroad.
Oh, yeah,
I
true.
know, and
So you
Italy
literally skipped from being, like, hot in Italy to being cold.
to being freezing because Italy stayed hot. Like when I say Italy stayed 85 degrees until the middle of November. I mean, the middle of November. Like it was crazy. I was tan. I was literally tan for 4 months. It's wild.
Mhm.
But anywho,
Anyhow, still grateful for this weather and this day.
I'm grateful. That's what I've been saying. I've been to God. I say, God, I'm so grateful for every weather that you give me rain, wind, sun, freezing cold weather. Like, I just love every single weather that there is because I know it's your creation. And I'm like, oh, I love it. I
Mhm,
don't know.
me
It's made me embrace it in such a positive way.
Yeah, I agree. So speaking of gratitude,
Yeah, speaking of positivity in my life,
yes, let's get into today's episode. So today we're going to talk about gratitude, and 1 second, my laundry alarm is going off my watch.
switch it over,
Laundry's
switch it
done.
over.
Laundry's done. Anyway, so today we want to talk about gratitude. We mentioned gratitude so much on this podcast, especially when we were talking about routines and setting up habits for yourself. I feel like gratitude was always like one of the ones on the checklist, right? Like it's always one
Yeah,
that we want to cover. So we kind of want to break down gratitude and why we find it to be so powerful and why it's so impactful in our lives and why we truly think that a life filled with gratitude is a really great life and you can't really see it any other way. No
yeah.
matter what the circumstances are, what's going on, if your life is centered around gratitude, if you're religious or not religious, you're still it's just like a humbling thing, and I feel like it's really truly shaped who we are as we get older.
I was just gonna say, like, the reason I think this topic is so important is because we do mention gratitude all the time, and we have obviously grown since the start of this podcast, but gratitude is something I feel like we both really have grown in, and I've seen so many positive effects in my life, whereas, like, people tell you to be grateful. Obviously, you need to be grateful in life. I didn't really there was a point when I think both of us didn't really understand the deeper meaning of gratitude and what it could do for you. I was always just like, "Yeah, I'm thankful for my family. That's my
Mhm,
gratitude." And now we're both at the point where I couldn't even imagine my life without it. It's significantly improved it. It's mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. So,
mhm,
speaking from experience, I think is why we really wanted to talk about it as someone who has gone from 0 to 100 and seen a difference.
mhm. Yeah. So let's start with kind of like basics of gratitude. I think this is just a good place for us to start. So there is a psychologist and professor at UC Davis. His name is Robert Emons. I think I'm pronouncing his last name correct. But when you do a lot of gratitude research or anything, it kind of circles back to him and him studying it and the effects it has on the mind and the body. So his definition of gratitude is a deep appreciation for all that you have received. So I feel like that is just obviously
Perfect.
how I would explain gratitude in my mind, but he puts it in better words. But then he also, like I said, he studies the effects that it has on the mind and the body. And a lot of his studies and a lot of what he says and preaches is how gratitude will literally rewire your brain and rewire your thoughts and your life. And we always say, change your thoughts, change your life. And I do feel like where that stems from is gratitude.
Yeah, and I think that's because gratitude really teaches your mind to only scan for positivity. It's like a positive tool to have in your toolbox in order to only see the positive, and it's because it does rewire your brain. And when I say rewires your brain, I mean in the sense of gratitude stimulates a chain of positive effects in your body. It stimulates the 4 neurotransmitters, so think like serotonin, dopamine, endorphins. It also triggers norepinephrine in your body, which is a neurotransmitter, but also like a happy hormone that is naturally produced within your body, and this triggers a greater release of it in your body when you practice deep gratitude.
Yeah, so norepinephrine, and I like hate saying that word, but it's kind of like that fight or flight response in your body. So the less you have of it, the more stress you're going to feel, maybe the more anxious, more depressed, kind of like those negative side effects. Same with the other neurotransmitters like dopamine and endorphin, serotonin, all that is so crucial. So if just by doing gratitude can stimulate more of that, like, just think about what it will do to your stress levels and your anxiety and depression. We talked about, seasonal depression a couple episodes ago. This is really now we talked about the cold. Like, now we're getting into the season where people are inside more. The sun goes down at 5 p.m. and it's a lot easier for the stress and anxiety to creep in. I feel like during this time of the year, specifically, Christmas is coming up, holidays,
Yeah.
money, so many things can happen that'll trigger a stressful response. And like you said, having a positive tool in your toolbox to be able to turn to in times of that, just to like quickly get that release instead
Mhm.
of like going out for a walk or going to the gym to get that release. It's like you can literally do it with just saying the things you're grateful for in your mind with like deep gratitude, which is
Yeah,
kind of
and
wild.
it's really wild because although that sounds so sciencey, like, when you really look at, like, norepinephrine is prescribed to people for
Mhm,
anxiety and depression because it
mhm.
makes you more of it obviously makes you happier, like you just said, and it's crazy that you could naturally produce that within your body to change your mood, to change your mindset, to just be completely altered, to be more positive. And as you said, like, obviously the days are getting shorter, it's getting a lot darker, it's, like, dark by 4:30 now. If I literally don't go on my walk, like, before 4:30, I'm screwed. I'm
It's
literally
like
walking in pitch black.
pitch black. It's
It's depressing. Like,
mhm.
obviously, naturally, as someone who loves the sunlight and without that sunlight as much in my life, without getting that much vitamin C, like,
Vitamin D.
your level oh, I literally knew that. Cut that
It's
out.
okay. No, no, it's okay.
Vitamin D, what am I saying as well? What am I saying? Okay. Without getting that much vitamin D, your neurotransmitter levels, your endorphins, they just are going to be lower. Like, it's scientifically known that they will be lower. So it's really important that you do practice it in general. Like, not only should you want to, it's important for your health as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like the mental state that I get into when I'm actively practicing gratitude is it's really just like takes me to a whole new level. And I'll kind of talk about, so I've talked before about the gratitude rampage and how I'll like go into really just like listing out and saying everything I'm grateful for. And the reason I love the rampage so much is because I start kind of simple and basic, I would say, and then the more and more I talk, the more specific I get. So it might have started with like I'm grateful for waking up today, and then I'll get really really super specific about how I woke up today. I woke up with a roof over my head. I woke up in a warm bed with covers on and pajamas on my body, like clothing on my with a bottle of water next to me, whatever. So I get super super specific about all the little things I'm grateful for, and by the end of it I just feel like so amped up. Like, not a single thing could take me down, not a single thing will shake this mood because there was so much in my life, and I couldn't finish the rampage after 30 seconds because there was so much more to talk about that it had to take me longer than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And, you can still use if you only have 30 seconds in your day to do it, okay, but it's just, like, crazy, then you realize all the stuff in your life, and I truly do feel like it makes you more focused, it makes you more like centered and okay for the day, and to point out the rest of the positivity throughout the day instead of looking for the negative. Like you said, it kind of spreads this positivity light on everything leading into your day. So that's why I like starting the morning with it. But I don't know, it just totally shifts my mind to maybe feel like a little foggy to super sharp and clear just on like what
Yeah.
my life is.
Well, and I think that's because the gratitude rampage in particular is a phenomenal way to go about gratitude. I personally is my favorite way to express gratitude, but it's very deep gratitude. Like you said, you started with something maybe more base level, but as you go and continue, you get to such a deep level of gratitude that that deep thinking and deep appreciation really stimulates those transmitters and really releases the positive, effects on your bodies.
So, like, the key words with the deep level of gratitude, I wanna point this out. I feel like some people are like, "I am grateful," and I do say the things I'm grateful for, but they kind of only stick to the basics of, like, "Oh, I'm grateful for my family, and I'm grateful for the job that I have, and money in my bank account," whatever. I feel like if you're not getting below that surface level of things that you're grateful for, you're not tapping into really what all of those things mean in your life. So, like, what does it mean to have a job? Why are you grateful for the job? What is it providing in your life? Tap into all those little things because I feel like it opens up like this extra layer and truly taps into that deep gratitude. And it's not something that's surface level or, I'm just like thankful for it. It's like, no, I'm truly, truly grateful. And that is what I feel like really alters and really stimulates the releases of those neurotransmitters and the changes in your mind and your body, like getting into that deepness.
Yeah. And personally, I think the surface level gratitude, like you just said, honestly, I don't like if you're wondering about gratitude and you're going to really start implementing it in your life, I don't think surface level gratitude will really it's
Resonate.
never bad, but I don't think it'll resonate with you. I don't think you'll feel any positive effects or differences because I think you need that appreciation, that understanding of why you should be grateful for things to really feel the effect of it. Like just not even in like the sciencey way or on your body, in your mind as well. Like I know for me, when I break down my family, like why am I so grateful for my family? Why am I grateful for Kateri in particular for exact reasons? Like I become like so much more like, oh my God, like there are so many different things that I should be grateful for. And like
Mhm.
I see so much more positivity in my life, so many more blessings in my life because I went deeper. So I'm
Mhm.
just saying that in a sense where like as someone who did practice surface level gratitude and told Kateri all the time, wow, gratitude just doesn't really resonate with me. I don't know why. Like I can't really figure it out. Making that shift to deeper and really pushing my questions and really making my mind like what am I grateful for right here, like as I'm walking and finding those small things that are big things was made the biggest effect for me for sure.
Mhm. And I another thing about the rampage is, like I said, sometimes I can go on for, like, a couple minutes about it, but that can feel overwhelming. So it's okay to start with, "Okay, I'm gonna take 30 seconds right now to talk about the things I'm grateful for," and maybe you start with I'm gonna choose one maybe like basic level thing. So I'm grateful for my family, and then just spend the rest of the time only saying the things you're grateful for about your family, or maybe
Yeah,
you're grateful for your job, and just kind of like I look at it as like a tree. And the tree, the top of it is the one basic level thing, and like what are the roots to it, and kind of
yeah.
like go off in that way. Like I see like Venn diagrams and I see
No,
all
I
these things in
literally
my brain of like
I
how I visualize like going off into different sections of the main thing.
I do the same thing. I actually when I do like a gratitude rampage, I break it down by surface level things
Mhm.
and then I can't move on from like one surface level like one part of the tree until I'm
Yeah.
done saying
Yeah.
everything I could potentially be grateful for. So
Like,
that's how I do mine actually.
when companies have, like, almost like the
The
managers
management chart.
the chart, that's how I
Yeah,
see it.
yeah, like
Like,
family,
who's the top
series.
manager? Yes, and then, like, let's break it down. That's literally how I view it in my mind.
And once you start doing that, the branches go on forever. Like,
Yeah,
you have to,
exactly.
like, almost stop yourself and be like, "Alright, I've said enough on that. I've said enough.
Yeah,
Let me move
it
on."
but that's what I'm
Which
saying.
is the best feeling. Like, there's that much to be thankful for. It's like, "Oh
Yes.
my god," it makes you smile.
Mhm. And so in that sense, like, you don't need to overwhelm yourself with going on forever, but that's why it might be good to just, like, pick one thing and then pick a different thing every day until you kind of feel comfortable to okay, then the next week you start by doing like, talking about 5 things, and then maybe if you have more time, you can go on and on. You never know where it could lead,
Yeah,
but like you said, it just makes you feel so good after, and it truly is just such a game changer. Like, honestly, I didn't do it this morning. Like, I subtly do it in my mind of when I wake up and, and when I go on a walk, like, it's kind of in the back of my mind to think about what I'm grateful for, but if I don't spend the time doing it, like, I'm already, like, eager to go do it after recording this because I just
yeah.
know it'll make me feel really good.
It's like my favorite thing to do. You're
Yeah,
right.
it
Like,
really is, and,
I
like,
literally
sometimes if I'm pushing it off, I'm like, "Why are you pushing this off?" Like,
yeah,
what is
like,
it
it's
just
only
because
gonna
it
benefit you.
exactly, and then I'm like, "Just take 30 seconds," and that 30 seconds might lead into, like, a minute or 2 minutes, and I don't even care because what is 2 minutes out of the day? Spending
Exactly.
doing something good.
That you'd probably be spending, like, on your
Scrolling.
phone
Yeah.
yeah, on your phone later or watching Netflix, like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, definitely a priority in our days, but it wasn't always like that for us, so
Mhm.
we can maybe get into we talked a lot about, like, why gratitude is important, but I also wanna share with you guys, I guess, just, like, our experience with gratitude, like I keep saying to you, it didn't resonate with me, and that is, like, one of the most truthful statements I will ever say, like, I used to always say to Katia, like, "I just can't practice gratitude," like, I don't know why, but I don't feel anything. I feel like I'm just, like, saying, like, "I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for mom." Like, I
Mhm.
literally just felt like a robot, and I hated it, but now I think we're both at the point where it is almost an inherent thing in my day. It's like I can't really go throughout my day without having a deep appreciation. Like, I don't mean I can't go throughout a day without practicing gratitude. It's now like I don't live a life anymore where I look for negativity. I've noticed how much my outlook has just completely like I'm always scanning for positive things. I'm always seeing the positive in every situation, and I didn't always used to be that way, honestly. Like, I had to really work to be positive in some senses, and now it's like, "Oh my god, I have 10 exams this week, 2 papers, like, everything to do. I have no sugar IBK," like, okay, and literally, I'm like, find the positive in a sense where I'm like, "Wow, okay, this is all gonna make me 10 times more efficient, and then anytime I have work in the future, I'm just gonna be able to get it all done in a split second because I've been forced to be more efficient. I'm so grateful for this week. I'm so grateful for this work." Like, that is what my mind is naturally doing, and I'm saying this because I can't believe it. Like, if you would have said that to me when I thought it was, like, the worst thing ever, I would be like, "No way you can get to that level of thinking," and now
Mhm.
it's just completely transformed my mind.
Yeah, or you might have even thought like, "No way, that's natural," and what doing any habit or doing anything for a certain amount of time, it truly creates it changes the neural pathways in your brain, and not to get, like, sciencey again, but the more you do a habit, the more it's going to be, like, super strong in your brain, so making gratitude a habit for you really made it easy for you to see the good in situations throughout your day because it was so strong in your brain to do
Yeah,
that. So it
and
becomes a natural thing. It's not something that happened overnight, you didn't just think that way overnight. You have to, like, put in the work to do it, but once you start doing it and you commit to doing it, you can change those neural pathways in your brain to think like that and to see the
yeah,
good in every situation.
yeah, and I think you really have to find what resonates with you and how you need to, like, be grateful. Like, for
Mhm,
me, I think it accelerated so quickly and has impacted me so much because I personally do a form of gratitude rampage at the end of my prayer when I'm talking to God. So I'm thanking him for everything, and I think that just comes more naturally to me because I can't really just be like, "Oh, I'm thankful for this." Like, it almost feels like I'm actually telling someone, like, this is really what I am thankful for, and I'm actually thanking the person who has given it to me. So it feels a little bit more real. So I always suggest, like, if you are religious and you do pray, that's definitely a good way to incorporate it in your life because
mhm,
that I feel like accelerated the habit building for me, which is crazy because when you think of building habits, like, people are always just like, "Oh, it takes like 21 days." No, what's actually going on when you're building a habit is like you're rewiring your brain. I know we keep
mhm.
saying that, but that's why it's like it takes work and your mind is actually like changing itself when you're practicing this every single day.
If you own a company and you're not producing a podcast, you're missing out. The public consumes messaging when they're ready. Join the professional podcast network of companies and let Jacob Media Partners put you in the podcast arena. Come to our professional studio or we'll come to your place of business and professionally produce your company podcast. Call Jacob Media right now at 267-261-3428. 267-261-3428.
Another thing that I've really noticed, like, obviously it has had a really positive impact overall on my life, but to get into the nitty-gritty, I would say one of the biggest changes that I've noticed from gratitude has been I have significantly less wants in my life, and when I break it down and really think about it, without gratitude, you're always looking for the next best thing that you can get. But when you do practice gratitude, you're learning to appreciate what you already do have. You're taking your focus off the other objects, the other sweatshirts you may want, the cars you may want, the fancy stuff. You're taking your mind off that and focusing on what you currently have. And because of that, I've just really lost any want for anything in my life. Like I used to want Kylie cosmetics. I used to Kai just dropped a new line. Kylie.
Mhm.
Kylie dropped a new line. Kai. The old me, I feel like, would be like, oh my God, I need this right now. Like, oh my God, Dairy Boy, need this set. Now I'm just so at peace with everything that I have. I'm so grateful with everything that I have that I'm not looking for more. If I get more, it's, oh my God, I'm so happy about it. But because of this deep appreciation for what I have now, it just removed the want for anything else, which I think is so cool. Like I never thought I would ever get to that point. Obviously, I still want stuff, but it's
It's
not as
not a
pressing.
and it's not as almost like instinct to be like, "I need that," right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, yeah, of course I still want things. Like, I love the new puffers that Kylie's dropping,
I love them. Love
but I'm
them.
like, one, I wore my puffy jacket today on the walk, and I'm so grateful that I had something so warm to keep me warm because it was cold out, and if I didn't have that, I would have been freezing, right? So it
Yeah.
you know, like you said, it kind of removes the want aspect to be, like, so strong, I think, and obviously that's always something to be working on and to recognize, having too much, like, is that really necessary? And, that can
Mhm.
be a whole different conversation, but no, I totally agree. I mean, I feel like in high school I was always like, "Oh, I want," and I need that. Like, I need a Gucci belt, and, "Oh, look, I need that Chanel belt," and then I got them both right, and it's like, what are these materials actually doing for me, and are they really even a necessary part of my life? Like, how did this make me a better person, right? Like,
Yeah.
wearing G's on my belt, right? So, like,
Like, you're allowed to want them,
yeah,
for sure.
exactly, and I feel like in high school and probably even in college, I definitely thought that way, but I don't know, like, I didn't even recognize, but I do think I want less, you know?
Right?
Like, I do feel like sometimes well, and this can go into a whole 'nother conversation of that's, like, why sometimes it's a battle in my mind of what I want for my future. Because 'cause I'm like, "If I had exactly what I have right now, like, I'd be good," you know? I don't
Yeah.
need, like, this crazy life, but that's just because I'm so focused on what is already in my life and how full it makes me feel that whatever else comes into my life is just like overflow of abundance, and that's amazing. But no matter what, I'm good where I'm at because of all that I have in my life.
Yeah.
And I
I
feel like that's just a
actually
good thing to like anchor yourself to and like have in the back of your mind so you're not sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but so you're just not always coming from like a lack perspective and a lack mindset because I think the lack is where you'll find yourself falling into the negative patterns and negative mindset and seeing the negativity if you view your life from a lack standpoint.
think it's really toxic, actually.
Mhm.
Like, it's honestly a really bad way of living. I think life is so beautiful, and it upsets me when people do have that lack mindset because it's so easy to fall into because there's so much out there in the world that
Well,
you can want.
just
And
think
it's
about
like,
influencers and social media now, like, I go on and I was watching a girl do a PR unboxing, and she does it once a week, and the packages that she gets, and I was like, "Fuck that, like, why am I feeling jealous of this
yeah,
person for having what I don't?" And if I didn't have, the mindset that I had around my own life, that really would have sent me into a spiral, and
right?
5 years ago, it might have sent me into a spiral because I didn't have what I have now, maybe even 2 years ago, right? So
Yeah,
it's like, it's a toxic world that we live in of, like, material items and always wanting more, but you always are seeing it on social media.
yeah. And the overall message of that is that it's in your control. Like, the world is the world, it's evolving how it is. We can't change that. So it's up to you in this life to make your life good, in a sense. Like, there is a way to see the beauty in all of life, but you have to put in the work for it. I think that's the overall message, just because, like, that is society that we live in and it's not going to change. So, like, figure out what works for you in order to make you live a good and happy life in a
Mhm.
world that constantly is pushing the opposite, you know?
Yeah.
And I just need to touch on also because I actually go down the same dilemma as you when I think about my future. I'm like, "Oh, but, like, I would be so okay with what I have," but I also have such big dreams and, like, such big visions of, I do have of course, I want 5 homes. Of course.
Mhm.
Like, yes, I want my ski chalet. Yes, I want my home in Europe. Yes, I want my like, of course. But
As well as just like, I don't want anything.
no, but, like,
I'm kidding, I'm
I
kidding.
used to be, like, so stressed about wanting them, and I would be like, "How am I gonna get them?" Like, I need to make sure that my life is set up in order to, like, achieve those dreams, and I still feel that. I still feel that passion for them, but about the dilemma that we just discussed, like, it's almost at the point, which I've realized, it's just not why I'm saying it, because I think you'd be like, "Oh, I think I'm at that too," is I have those dreams, and I'm really excited about them, and I will continue working for them, but if I fail and it's not a part of my plan, those things, those material items were never for me. I am so content and okay with what I do have because I'm so grateful and present in the life that I have now that I'm accepting for more, but I'm also okay if that's not in my plan. It's like at a very peaceful part of my life, I guess. Like I just feel at peace with gratitude in my life. I feel completely content with what I have, what I could get, and what I could not get. You
Mhm.
know? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, like what I maybe want in the future or for my future and for my family's future, regardless of what that is not gonna affect what I have right now because I'm not
Yeah,
gonna I'm not gonna tear something down that I currently have to get something for the future. Because like you said, if it's not a part of my plan, I don't want it, and if it is a part of my plan, it'll find its way into my life. Because
exactly.
that's what God does. Like, he puts things in our life that are meant to be in our life, and he removes the things that aren't. So, using that as, like, the guide and like you said, just sticking with being okay with what you have, and if you don't get what you think you want, it's not meant to be, and then you don't want it anyway.
Exactly. So overall, the effect that gratitude has had on me, honestly, is I just feel really spoiled with my life recently. Like that is what it has showed me. I could not ask for a better life. I could not ask to be a different person. Like I literally am so happy with life and every single day I am so grateful to be alive every day. I'm so grateful to move my body. I'm so grateful to go to school, to work, to talk to you. Like I'm grateful for literally everything and I feel so spoiled in the sense that I can't believe life is this perfect for me. And that's just what gratitude has done because I would not have said that a month ago even maybe because my journey has honestly really grown since being back at school and having my alone time. But if you asked me that a month ago, I think, I would say, oh, why am I such an overthinker? Like why do I think so deeply about this and this? And now I've learned to be grateful for my thinking because I'm like, it makes me who I am and I see how much it's helping me grow. Whereas last month I wouldn't have said that. So
Mhm,
just overall, gratitude has completely impacted my life in a way that everything is more positive. I feel only the urge to be positive and never negative these days.
mhm. And kinda to end on going off of that, like we said in the beginning, having gratitude in your life is like a tool in your toolbox. So utilize that tool. So when you are feeling negative or you're in kind of a shitty situation and things didn't go as planned, they didn't go in your favor, you're feeling down, utilize gratitude to pull you out of that and to get you back to a place where you can think rationally and you can think clearly and you can think about the lesson that you learned from that situation and kind of move on with your life with grace and with peace and carry it with you. Like it's in your toolbox for a reason, not to just make you feel like happy go lucky all the time, but to be able to use in situations where you might not feel as great and the situation might not be as great, but you can only control what you do with yourself in those moments. And it's important to be able to use that and know that it's there. So whether you practice gratitude every day or you don't at all, this can still be something that can be nurtured and can be worked on, and you can grow deeper in this practice no matter what stage of it you're at.
To wrap it all up is that you can be grateful for even things that are negative. So when you get that instinct to be negative, shit, there's a fly in my room, flip it, find how you can appreciate it. When you are always looking to appreciate something and to find the positive way around it, life will be much better. So even negative things can become positive. It's just how you choose to view it.
Yes, amen to that, sister.
Amen.
We hope you all feel inspired by this episode. Maybe take a couple minutes after you finish listening and just say a couple things you're grateful for, get into it deeper, say one thing you're grateful for and where can that expand to, and just continuously bring this into your life. And the more you do it, the more of a habit it becomes, and the more it will continue to change your life, and it'll change your thoughts and truly only make you better. This is something that only benefits you. Like, it really cannot bring you down in any way. It is only going to propel you forward. So we just hope you feel inspired. And I know I do. I'm like ready to go make my coffee and say a giant list of things I'm feeling so immensely grateful for. And yeah,
I'm grateful for you guys. That's all I can think about right now.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, let's end on that.
Gratitude. I'm like, I am so grateful for you, Kateri, to do this podcast with me side by side. I'm grateful for our beautiful community that supports us, listens every week, cares about what we have to say, and interacts with us and gives us feedback, and is just constantly propelling us forward and making us grow. So I couldn't have asked for a better life. Like, I'm just so grateful for all of you.
I know. And this platform to be able to even like talk about this and put this out there and share it so openly with people. It's really like amazing. I could have a whole episode on just how immensely grateful I feel about the no sugar community and the EK community, and yeah, doing this with you. It's like crazy.
Yeah. You guys truly are a part of Kateri and I's gratitude rampage. You are a branch on that tree. So thank you all, and we love you.
Yes. Have a great rest of your week.